Hi, Professor Curry. This is Johnny Walker. I'd like to speak on a topic of Volkswagen Automotive, which builds automobiles. They also were involved in a huge scandal and right around 2009. The backstory to that was in 2003, leaders from Volkswagen got together and wanted to find a way where they could produce and sell more vehicles to America. Well, they had, they have the Audi line. They also have Porsche. So they have some other lines they can use to sell, but really the best line for them would be to move more diesel vehicles. And what they did was they invented a marketing program called Think Blue. Think Blue was 100% about how friendly and how environmentally friendly diesel vehicles were and could be. They also promoted high gas mileage, which is 100% true. They also promoted power to weight ratio being very good, which means they could tow more with the same engine comparably to gas. That's 100% true as well. The part that every automotive professional engineer knows is that they pollute. They pollute about 75% more than a gas engine. So when they said that they could actually make a vehicle an engine that would be all those other attributes, which would be great gas mileage, be able to tow more, and then also be lower pollutant than gasoline, of course, that would be a no-brainer. That would be a great engine. So what took place was right around 2009, the EPA rolled out this new standard, and it said that we cannot have any vehicles below a certain, that pollute above a certain rate. Well, every one of Volkswagen's diesel engines were going to fail. There was no possible way that they would ever get emitted into the United States. So Volkswagen collaborated with Bosch Parts. Bosch is an automotive giant in the automotive industry. They have make a lot of components from almost all manufacturers, so it's not just Volkswagen. And what they did is they colluded with Volkswagen, and they deleted through software the emission testing on all these vehicles coming into the United States, so that they would show that they were compliant and that they were under the EPA's testing standards. And they showed that they were. What they were doing is that they were actually deleting the engine emissions testing. So it didn't solve anything. They were still the same polluting vehicles that they were before, except when they came to get EPA tested, that they were passing. What obviously people were astounded about these great vehicles. How could a vehicle that had an alarming pollution rate, just several years ago, be under this very stringent guideline? What took place was an investigation through the EPA, and they did some research, and the only vehicles that passed were vehicles that were done testing through VW. However, what they realized was when independent testing was done, these vehicles were just as pollutant as they were before, as they were 5 years ago. So nothing had changed. The engines were identical in every possible way. An engineer at Volkswagen came forward and said, hey, by the way, we've put in some software that deletes the testing and will give you a fraudulent reading, therefore allowing it to pass and when it shouldn't. The pressure that was bestowed on the Volkswagen engineers was immense. They have an autocratic leadership style at Volkswagen, which means here's what we're going to do. We just need you to figure it out and get it done, or lose your job. So with that type of mandate, many engineers just witnessed it, allowed it to happen. It took place. They imported about 500,000 American vehicles to America that were later found to have this software that would delete the testing. They recalled those vehicles. There was a lawsuit that took place. The engineers that were involved in the actual deceit and the management team that was privy to it was sentenced to prison. There were steep fines that went with it. So in the long run, this was billions and billions of dollars of settlement losses that took place, and the overall deceit, the greenwashing, which is saying that this is eco-friendly and it's planet friendly, and then when in fact it is not. That just the results did not match what they were saying, and so their corporate strategy, to align to being a planet-friendly vehicle was a lie, and those people lost their jobs, they lost their respect, and once again, it's going to take them 10 years to get out of that. Thanks.